Thank you. I'm here to work, Chair. Minister.
So are we.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Chair. Minister, I just want to be clear. There are presently, per your testimony, no asylum claimants in any hotel or temporary accommodation in Canada right now.
I said there's no asylum claimants in hotel accommodations, IRC. No, there isn't. I didn't say there. Obviously, there's there's other municipalities have places, but not in hotels that are paid for by the federal government or anyone else. That's correct.
So you're not paying for those asylum claimants that were in hotels to be in other places right now in any way, shape, or form?
So we have transferred funding to municipalities, but there's no asylum claimants in hotels.
Okay, so basically what you guys have done is remove the hotel line item and force people out on the streets while transferring more money to municipalities. Is that about right?
I didn't say that.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to go back to the section on mass cancellations. So just to reemphasize what you said, you are saying that this section doesn't apply to asylum claimants, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
These powers are used in exceptional cases for fraud purposes, health crisis, like pandemics, safety, national security.
So fraud is
not for individual asylum claimants.
So fraud is not mentioned in C-12 once, and the section that gives you power to cancel immigration applications, including permanent residence visas, doesn't include fraud. It's not. Public interest isn't defined. So you weren't able to give an example, a specific example of where you would use this before. I'm just puzzled why you would be asking Parliament to grant you authority to cancel somebody's permanent resident visa without going through Parliament if you can't name an example.
So as I said earlier, happy to repeat, these are not meant to be used for individual cases.
Okay, so
these powers are for intentionally. Public interest is not defined in the legislation to allow for flexibility for government to respond to various measures that are not for individual cases.
But you talked about some of these examples being during the pandemic when there were a lot of fraudulent visas or letters issued to students.
No,
right?
no, I never said that.
Okay, but I'm trying to find an example where you would use this, because to me it seems like you're trying to give yourself and your department more powers to correct mistakes in the system that they would have made in screening out, potential fraud to begin with, that affects real people with real lives. So you're telling people, essentially you're asking Parliament to give your department the power to cancel people who've come to Canada on permanent resident visas and temporary resident visas without a lot of definition.
Absolutely not correct. The Minister of IRCC will not have these authorities.
But the government and council would, right?
The decision rests with government. That
but not
would
Parliament.
Issue an order in council that would be made public.
But not Parliament. So,
to intervene on documents.
Ms. Rempel-Garner, kindly allow her to answer the question.
What the hell is even that?
Minister next week, and somebody asked you.
If I was where?
A Red FM panel next week, and a radio host said,
Who
does this apply to? What would you tell the radio host?
Again, these are meant to protect us.
Who's us?
The government, the Canadian public. It's to protect the Canadian public from safety, from major crises.
Allow her to answer the question, Ms. Rempel-Garner.
Come on!
That's what it's meant for. It's to intervene
1 minute.
when there's, in the opinion of the governor and council, it's in the public interest to do so.
The government and council powers to protect Canada from groups of immigrants? Which groups of immigrants?
There's rise in exploitation. I don't think I need to tell you that. There's many that are brought in along, and we've learned a lot of lessons from COVID-19 pandemic that pointed to gaps in the authorities that currently exist in Canada.
Why wouldn't you just make the system work as opposed to punishing victims of human trafficking? This seems like you're literally saying that you're going to cancel whole groups of people's permanent residence visas. without
Absolutely not
defining
saying
what
that. And
that's
the reason
exactly
why
what the
this
legislation says.
legislation is to make things work better.
I think you're saying, you said protect Canadians from people. Which people?
Well, we're waiting.
It's to protect Canadians from public crises that are deemed.
Thank you, Ms.
in the-
Rempel Gardner. Thank you, Minister. Next.